Hey everybody, it's Jordan from Geeks. Gonna do another one of my rare unboxing videos just now. 2 in a day, can't be that rare, but here it is. I'm gonna be doing an unboxing of Darkness Comes Rattling from Wyrd Games. Alright, so like I said, I'm doing Darkness Comes Rattling from Wyrd. Wyrd is, I think, mainly known for their Malifaux line of minis and the Malifaux minigame. I've played that previously, enjoyed it for a while, and then they made some changes and I stopped liking it. But they've come out with a couple other games, kind of in their Malifaux world, but this one is totally removed from Malifaux. This has nothing to do with them fluff and Malifaux. This is an all-new game, all-new fluff. Darkness Comes Rattling. Darkness is the snake. It has swallowed the sun. And in Darkness Comes Rattling, 2 to 6 players are working cooperatively to save humanity, the tribes of humanity, to defeat darkness. And this box is heavy. You can see it's not that thick, but it is packed. It's got a whole lot of cardboard in it. Corruption tokens, standees for both your warrior and your spirit form, other markers. It's got a very pretty board. It is circular. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this. I can't, because this board is ridiculously big, but it's also ridiculously beautiful. It's set into quadrants. Northwest, southwest, you see, southeast, northeast. Each quadrant is color-coded. And with each quadrant, there is a little sideboard for the winds, west wind. Let me actually show it to you. So we've got east wind, south wind, north wind, and as mentioned, west wind. And it's got trackers on each wind. And then there is just a well laid out box. I think this is one of the better inserts I've seen. It's plastic. It does come out, but everything is laid out in here. Yeah, let me turn it around so you can actually read the writing without having to look upside down. Everything is laid out in here very nicely, and with the big board on top, everything will stay in it nicely. And there's lots and lots of stuff in here. There are challenge decks for each compass point, north, south, east, and west. And challenges are how most of the action is going to take place. It's got some very tribal-looking artwork. It gives you all the details of what you're going to need to do for the challenge in each zone. And apparently, at the end of the North Challenge deck, there are also some event cards, and events take place as well. These are going to impact the game, sometimes specifically to a player, sometimes globally. Like I said, so then there's also the South Challenge deck, and again, everything matches the color where it's going to be on the board. East and west, and they all follow the same kind of layout. And here's north that I showed you before, and then here's west, the same kind of primitive or non-traditional artwork, you know, cave drawings, that kind of thing. And then there is also a larger event deck that those should be part of, apparently. I guess I could have sorted that out a little bit better, but who knew? And then there is the Shadow deck, Shadow Challenges, and then some extra North and South challenges. I'm going to have to find out if these are variable by the number of players or if it was just collation that put them into the event deck. Then they also have equipment cards. You can gear up one of your warriors. You're trying to defeat the darkness, so of course you're going to need gear. So there's equipment like a canoe. First time you scout during your movement this turn, it does not cost an action point. Yeah, it's an action point based game. And then there's medicine. Discard to remove all corruption from a warrior in this space. And then there's reward cards. As you complete challenges, you will gain rewards like Bone of Earth. Discard during a challenge to gain a reroll. Reroll's always handy. I don't care what game it is. Or the Bone of Sky. Discard to gain 1 action point. So anything that helps your action point economy, that'll always be handy. Then it's got challenge dice, standard D6s for 3 of them. 3 color, blue, yellow, and red. Blue, yellow, and red for your challenges. And then the dark die. This will, I assume, be used for the darkness challenges. Got some nice plastic for life trackers. And then yet more cardboard. It's got little player cards for each potential character. Their spirit form. So you've got Artos, Warrior's Heart. And then on the flip side, Artos, Unstoppable. And so each character that you could play has their player card. You can swap back and forth as needed, how you're playing or what's going on in the game. It's kind of cool mechanic that. I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. And then it's got stuff for merchants, where it'll tell you what's what. And then on the other side of the merchant card is explanation for your day and your night, your dark die, stuff like that, and your phases. So lots of good information on the merchants on one side and your game phases on the other. Pretty solid game. Components. And then the last thing is, I'm not quite sure what these markers are for. It's 2 for the Outcast and 2 for the Blind Woman. They're labeled as the Millennium Tortoise. I didn't see those in the rules when I was looking over them, so I'll have to go read those rules again. Hate to miss something on the first read through and then actually try to play the game. So I'm going to give that another shot. And then, since there's cardboard standees for everything that you're going to need on the board, they also give you a whole bunch of plastic bases to put your cardboard in, and a very nice tiny dice bag with Darkness Comes Rattling on it. I really like the fluff of this. The old world, the primitive world, warriors fighting to save their planet. Though they don't necessarily know that it is an entire planet, they're certainly just trying to save their tribe, the tribes of man. And it is a pretty game. Even before I knew much about the game, once Wyrd started putting up the concept art and the component pictures, I was sold. This is a pretty game, and it's going to look awesome on a table. And that was the biggest point for me, so hopefully it lives up to that. 2 to 6 players with a whole lot of variety in challenges, gear and rewards and events. So I expect there to be a high level of replayability here, assuming that it's a game that I enjoy. But early playtester reports say that it is an enjoyable game. The rule book is not huge. It is 19 pages, apparently counting the cover is page 1, and then the last page is alternative play rules and adjusting the difficulty, and then a glossary, and then some miscellaneous rules. So that's actually only 15 pages of rules, which seems like a lot, but you'll see there is lots of good card pictures, breaking down cards in detail, breaking down board setup in detail, and lots of big chunks of fluff in the sidebar. So while it is 15 or 16 pages of actual rules, between sidebars and fluff and, I'd have to say, nice, large, easily readable text. I point that out just because I recently got glasses and I have to wear reading glasses now, so a lot of my rule books are now glasses required. So yeah, it's 16 or 17 pages of rules, but it's big writing, lots of art, and a lot of sidebars, so there's not as much there as it looks. So I'm really looking forward to get this to the table. I've been on a real cooperative gaming kick recently, not quite sure why. I'm just getting a lot of enjoyment out of co-op games right now. So when Wyrd put this out, even though it was delayed, it finally got to me this week when Wyrd announced this. I jumped on it pretty much right away because it looked beautiful, and then the early playtests came back and said it was actually an enjoyable game as well. So I'm really looking forward to getting this one to the table. All right, hope you found this handy. Talk to you later. Hey everybody, it's Jordan from All Us Geeks. I'm here to do another one of my rare unboxing videos. 2 in one day, can't be that rare. And